And just like that, it looks like my changes have taken effect. See, now I gotta show myself looking smaller than you because I started with us like this. And now I get to make us equal. Just like this. I had a clip that's perfect for this. I guess I can use these two. Oh, hey. This one's a very sturdy one. You ever use these on your files? Like, I think this is kind of like an office supply tool. I used to steal lots of them from work. Ha 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 ha. I'm just kidding. I'd never do that. And I'm just kidding when I say that. This ought to be fun. I'm hoping. Here. Let's make sure the camera's focused, please. I just need that. Because if it's not focused, how can I expect us to be focused, right? It'll help. It'll help being focused. Actually, a few other things will help too. This will help. This will. Okay, how many false starts was that, huh? I was going to get the mouse pad, and I guess I hit the space bar on this keyboard, and it stopped the recording. I just cleared off this shelf, so that way this stuff would be right here where I need it. Because we're gonna have a discussion again. It's me, JJ, producer of video games and more, and owner of Bright Idea Records. And guess what we're doing today? Aside from sweating, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why don't you take off your big old coat, right? Maybe you'll stop sweating. If I'm supposed to listen to you, maybe you should seem intelligent. Don't worry about me. If I ask for help, or if I really need it, if I state to you that I'm trying to accomplish something, and that, you know what, trust your gut, that's what I should say, alright? If you're thinking, oh, why don't you take off your coat, what is your gut really telling you? That's what I thought. So don't worry about me, unless I'm in really bad shape and I'm asking for your help. I ask for help all the time and totally like get ignored. And then there's those times when like I'm not asking for help and everybody's trying to give me their 2 cents. And it's just like, why is this? And it's because we don't have the right faith. What did he just say? Stop the presses, time out. Why would JJ say that? He goes on at length sometimes about how he has faith no more, right? It's true. You're probably going to think I'm a hypocrite, right? And I'll tell you a lot of secrets right now. And they're not really secrets because, I mean, some of you may already have heard the news, you know, through the grapevine, as the case may be. Or maybe it's something you've known all along. I don't know, man. Alright? Oh, it feels good. Should I slow down? I really have a lot to tell you, and I just... I'm eager to do it. Here, let's start with the introduction. You know me. I'm JJ, the Bright Idea Records and Video Games and More guy. Okay? And I'm making this video. This video pertains to my World Peace video series, right? And, you know, that's basically... If I had to, it hasn't led to world peace yet. Let me put it to you that way. Okay? That's fine. You know, that they say Rome wasn't built in a day, the world wasn't built in a day. The universe wasn't, something or other wasn't built in a day, right? I guess. Whose day are you talking about? Ooh. Ah. This is gonna be cosmic, I can tell. I'm not trying to get you to, like... I'm trying to get you to, like... And I'm trying to get myself to, like... You know? Trust your gut, right? How do you do that? How do you have faith? How do you trust yourself? If you're a gigantic fuck up like me, if you're a total like failure, if you're accident prone, right? If you're like, if you got low self-esteem, low confidence, hell, man. Even if you've got a high confidence level, you know, you got it. What's that saying? You've got confidence in spades, right? Let's just say you have a surplus of confidence, right? So it should be easy to have faith in yourself, right? It should be easy to trust your gut if you're just so confident, right? Perhaps. What are you confident about? What in particular? You can't be confident about every aspect of yourself because how could anybody do that? You'd have to lie to yourself. And I don't want you to have to do that anymore. Fake it till you make it? You won't have to fake it. Have you ever watched The Matrix and thought to yourself, wow, Neo is so cool, I wish I could dodge bullets, I wish I could, like, fly through the air like Superman? And you know, technically Superman isn't flying, he's leaping. He leaps through the air. He's kind of like a flea. Who's a really good bass player, by the way. No, I don't mean he's that Flea. I mean, Flea can probably jump, but this is already fun. I'm already starting to have a good time. I might not even touch this drink I'm making. You may occasionally see me walk out of frame. Who knows? Maybe I'll bring you with me by doing something like that, right? You never know. Let's see. Are we equal? Hold on. Okay. If I explain to you very quickly and succinctly, not quickly. If I am confident and have faith in the words, the 3 words, we are equal. Do you trust me? Do you really? You probably think this is a trick. Like I'm trying to gain your trust, and then I'm going to use your trust against you, right? Or maybe you're going to give me your trust, and then like, you know, I'm going to do the fuck up thing, and then you're going to be like, oh, why did I trust this fuck up? They led me down the path of destruction. Man, just trust me when I say we are equal. How much trust does that take? It's called giving me the benefit of the doubt, right? That's a pretty like low level of trust. I was just talking about this the other day, how basically we live in a system of like law and order and justice, and like what is the one of the primary tenets of this justice system? It's one of the very most important ones. Hell, man, it might be the first one. Is innocent until proven guilty, right? Of course. Because if we didn't have that, we'd all just be locked up, wouldn't we? We would just be guilty until proven innocent. And that's not very productive. So we're already giving each other the benefit of the doubt by living in society and civilization. You know I'm right when I say that. Don't you? Don't you believe in law and order and justice? I didn't invent it. I didn't write the rules. I just kind of have to live by them because they feel right. And also because it's the law. And I kind of like having freedom. It's kind of necessary, right? Okay. So, benefit of the doubt. Check. You'll notice I don't have a drawing board, a dry erase board this time. Look, it didn't help last time, did it? So, that's the nice thing about failure, is if you got everything you need to succeed and you fail, well, guess what? Maybe you didn't have everything, or maybe you had more than you need. You know, maybe you should try a different configuration this time, and it'll work out. If it's something that you really want to do, like bring world peace, yeah, man, this is worth trying again. Things have gotten even worse if you think about it. What do I mean by worse? Let's just say world peace is even further away now. I can't reach it. I couldn't reach it then, but I felt like maybe my fingers were just about there. If you can believe that. It felt like that to me, okay? It's kind of a perspective thing. You know what I mean? Like, look, here's the deal. You're gonna see me go out of frame every once in a while, and that's our perspective, right? What am I doing? What am I doing over here? Why am I going out of frame? Well, you see, oh no, why is the iMac screen? See, this is a perfect example. God, that timing couldn't have been any better. So I'm engaged. I'm engaging. I'm uploading right now. And I gotta keep the computer awake because I keep getting these little bumps in the road. This is like my third try at uploading, right? And let me see. My third try at uploading, and this is my third recording in the world peace video attempt here. Now, why do you think that is? Yeah, well, it kind of requires faith if you're gonna believe this. I don't think it requires blind faith necessarily, per se, which is kind of a rude term. It seems like there's a lot of rude terms with regards to the blind. It's insensitive. When I say it's rude, I mean it's insensitive. Because, you know, blind people are awesome. I've had some blind friends, and I still do. I mean, like, there's a lot of special people to me out there, but I'm distanced from all of them, even the ones that are right next to me. I'm so tired of being that way. I believe, I have faith that life is so very short. And it's not exactly fair, but look at it this way. At least you got to have any at all. Better to have loved than never loved it. Yeah, Shakespeare. Okay, that's nice. To be or not to be, I'll take to be, thanks. Here's how, okay, perspective. And now you know why I might be doing that. And talking about distance from the ones next to me. Let's get back to the perspective. I was saying, oh, I feel like my fingers, I'm almost there, right? That's what it feels like. That's what it felt like. you know, when I was making my last video, when I fell apart and I said, feel sorry for me, oh, learn empathy, feel sorry, boo-hoo. And that's when my analytics dropped to an all-time low, and I mean, like, a few other things have happened. Like, I sniffed some caffeine pills, like, live on the stream, and, like, you know, I keep saying, like, slur words, because I know that I have faith that the words themselves aren't important. I have faith that the intention and the meaning, the posture, the context, everything else is what's important. That the words, and I'm kind of trying to share that with you so we can have fun together. Just saying dirty words all day, that can be a lot of fun. If you've ever seen Chris Rock or Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy, you might know that saying dirty words can be a lot of fun. And the problem is, if a word is so dirty you can't even say it, that's not a lot of fun. But the thing is about the perspective, right? Oh yeah, have I done anything else to make a fool out of myself lately and lose my close ones? You guys? Yeah, probably. I try to explain things, but who knows how you see that. You could be like, oh, he's so patronizing. He's explaining something to me that I already know, you know? And it's like, I'm sorry. I know what that feels like, because I'd go to school and I'd take a class, and the first chapter or two or what have you, you know, the introduction to the class is like usually going over material that I already know, right? Because otherwise, it's kind of like this. Why am I in that class? Well, probably because I know about this much about the subject, the topic, and I want to know like that much, okay? So naturally, I'm probably going to know chapter 1 and chapter 2, maybe the introduction already. Because, yeah, I had to find out about that thing. It's not like I'm taking the class, forgive, no disrespect, it's not like I'm taking this class like I'm blind to the subject or anything. You know I mean no disrespect. One of my favorite blind people is this guy that's a software developer in France. He makes video games for blind kids because he's a blind kid. And it's a sound-based video. He has a bunch of them. He's really great. I think his name is Sam Toopy. Ah! That went well. I'm serious. I didn't freak out or anything. That's good. I have faith in myself at this moment. And that's really what the faith is. That doesn't have to be in yourself. More on that in a second. So anyways, yeah, it's not like I'm taking the class blind. I know a little bit about it, but what's the problem with that? The problem with that is, for the first few classes, I'm like, oh, this is so boring. This is painful. Somebody just gagged me with a spoon. Fucking slit my throat. Jesus, make it stop. Right? So I know how it might feel if I say something that you know, you're probably thinking I'm a condescending, patronizing asshole, right? But that's not the case. I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Please, don't let me be misunderstood. Please? You're giving me the benefit of the doubt this time, right? I have faith that you are. So, that's why I'm going to do better this time. Alright. And faith is such a fascinating topic. I'll bet you think you already know a thing or two about it. You know, I'm not really an expert on it. So this is a fresh topic for me. So that's kind of why it's fun and I feel like reinvigorated. I'm going to do a final demonstration on the perspective thing. I'm saying that, like, world peace, it felt like it was like that, right? And you can see the perspective way better than I can. We're on like a two-dimensional plane right here, a quadrant. Like, let's pretend that I am the Y line in the quadrant, and my arms represent the X on the quadrant, okay? This is like algebra, like a graphing calculator thing, you know? So, like, on the upper right, that's the positive area. That's where the positive numbers go. And, you know, when X is negative, it's the other quadrant. What's X? This is X. Remember? And no, I'm not being a dick when I say remember. I'm asking you to have faith in yourself, because I know some of you are going to be scared. Oh, he's talking about math. Oh no! Don't do that. Have faith in yourself. Please, for me, I really need this. Thank you. And so, you know, in the bottom hemisphere, you got everything is negative. Or wait, no, that's right. Over here, the X can be positive, but the Y is negative. So yeah, below my arms is the Y negative zone. Above my arms is the Y positive zone. You know, to my right, which is your left, that's the X negative zone, and this is the X positive zone. And oh, I gotta keep the computer screen awake. Why don't you just adjust your green power saving settings, JJ? Then you won't have to worry about it. Thanks for the concern. It's very altruistic of you. It's also patronizing and condescending. I don't need your help with that. I need your help focusing on faith. So what's the deal with the math? What's so important? Jesus Christ on a toothpick? Jesus Christ on a crutch, right? Jesus Christ on a popsicle stick? How about Jesus Christ on a guitar? That would look cool. Jesus Christ on a skateboard? Like, you know, crossed out like that. You could pretty much tack the Lord and the Savior, Jesus Christ, you could tack that guy to anything, right? As long as it's made out of wood. That's so tragic. How would you like to die that way? Ew. Ew. You know, ooh, no thanks. You know, I'm not even sure if it's real, that story. And I'm not sure if there ever was a Jesus Christ, because like I've told you a million, bazillion, kajillion, quadrillion, quintillion, trillion, million, zillion times, I'm faithless, right? So naturally a faithless person is going to be something like an agnostic, because you're an agnostic if you don't have faith in yourself. You're like, I don't know. It's like that South Park episode where Cartman gets adopted into a foster family and all they drink is Dr. Pepper because they are an agnostic household. And, you know, you can't say, you know, one way or another about anything because you're agnostic. So according to your religion, the only correct answer is, I don't know. I don't know. How could I know such a thing? And it's like, that's actually kind of the way people should be about a lot of things. Unless you actually know the thing that you're talking about. Or, granted, nobody knows everything about, you know, whatever it is. X, fill in the blank, right? Nobody knows everything about everything. So to assume that you do is arrogant. it's pretty much looking down on me. Like I'm down here again, you know? And like if I put the camera down there and you gotta look up to me, like, you know, that's like, oh, I know about faith, let me tell you about it, because I know everything. I'm just trying to have a dialogue with you. And that's what, but we're equals. We're peers. I had a really tough time in school. I'm gonna do this. I can do this. I'm going to show you the perspective. That's why we did the whole quadrant thing. I was trying to explain why we're on a two-dimensional kind of, you know, relationship. Our relationship right now at this moment is two-dimensional, as represented by a quadrant. So naturally, when I think that I'm really close to world peace, yeah, and you can see that I'm not close at all, that I'm more like way over here, all out of frame and stuff, right? Which sucks. But you actually have a better viewpoint. You have a better vantage point than me. You know what it looks like to me? Here, this is what it looks like to me, okay? Imagine you're trying to touch my shoulder and go, hey JJ, you're far away from world peace. Why don't you take a step back and rethink it and try again, right? You're trying to tap me on the shoulder? Yeah? Gee, how are you gonna do that? How can you do that? What are you gonna have to do to tap me on the shoulder? Because I'm not gonna notice you if you don't tap me on the shoulder, right? And you can't help me. You can't say, hey dude, you're way further away from the world peace than you think you are, right? It's gonna look something like this. Alright, you're gonna be extending your arm. Yeah, that's your arm. And do you notice how it doesn't really change? It's like you can kind of see, like you can kind of gauge. Are we tapping his shoulder now? Nope. Nope. How about now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear? Right? Can you? Hey JJ. And I have to keep it straight like that because, like, you know, kind of like on the horizon. You know? Like, hey JJ. Nope. Hey JJ. And it's like this part is the part that has to remain steady in order for this visual trick to work. You know? And eventually, you know, like preferably if this was a broomstick, it wouldn't change. You know, it would continue to just like look like the not the Death Star, but Darth Vader's ship in Star Wars. You know that opening shot where it's just like the ship is just going like dun dun dun, you know, and they made fun of it in Spaceballs. It's just like the ship was like stupidly huge in Spaceballs, right? You get my meaning. I did it. Yes. Touchdown. I know I could have done it better. You know, but I know you're going to get it. You understand, and that's my only goal. I'm not trying to make Star Wars here. I'm actually trying to make the opposite. I'm trying to make Star Peace. Oh. Oh, wow. That's fucking awesome. Did you hear that? Star Peace? Holy shit. I think I'm trusting this guy. I think I'm trusting him more and more. I think he might have more than just the benefit of the doubt. My benefit of the doubt? Please now. Now you're the one jumping ahead. I was the one that was jumping ahead and forgetting to do the perspective demonstration. So please, everything will work out. I have faith. I get a little like wrapped up in things. I get a little bit carried away. I get a little bit like drawn in. You know, like just a little bit much. Like if you're gonna be kung fu fighting and fast as lightning. Yeah, I know I can't sing. Sorry. You know, or can I? Yeah. Both. What about it? If I was gonna be kung fu fighting for real, it would be real nice if I could be all like Neo, huh? All like. And then I lift my leg, and my leg's all like up in the air like that, and I'm standing on one leg, and it like swivels like that. And he's just like super calm. I don't even think he blinks. Or if he blinks, he's just like, you know, really slowly, just like, you know, one of those blinks. Like, yeah, you know what I'm doing. I'm keeping the computer awake so the upload follows through. And I did that, and now I'm looking for my cigarette machine. And I know it's like, I just know it is like, it's totally like, oh, whatever. I got this, man. You're gonna like this. We've got some visual aids for those that are not, you know, affected by visual impairment, as opposed to blindness. Yeah, you get it. I find the blind to be incredibly inspirational, and I'm disturbed that my camera guy Mark wound up with one eyeball. Like back when I was like this tall, and he like, I never would have predicted that he was going to end up with one eyeball. Why would I ever think that about anyone if they have two, right? What's that all about? Like, do you just like, are you trusting your gut? Like, that's about the only reason. If you've got a gut feeling that something's gonna be something, and this spider sense of yours, this gut feeling, if you have so much faith in it that like, there's this no doubt, like, you totally believe that your gut and your I don't know, man. That's pretty. Oh, and this one's going to sleep too. Don't worry about me. This keeps me on my toes. This keeps me situationally aware. In fact, these computers keep falling asleep on me. And plus, if I start reconfiguring things, otherwise known as dicking around with my settings, you know, guess what might happen? I might just really, right now things are pretty stable, aren't they? And if I'm going to reconfigure things, there's a few precautions I should definitely take. What are some of these precautions? Maybe like backing up a few things, making copies, so that way if, you know, we end up going down the downward spiral rabbit hole, I can just reload. My configuration is fairly stable, right? Oh, but I'm so confident I know what I'm doing, okay? I'm just gonna click this and save that, and yeah, without a backup, huh? Are you prepared to lose everything? Well, what do you mean, everything? What, like, what am I gonna lose? Are you prepared to lose your computer system, all the data that's on it? Why would that happen? What do I need to prepare? I'm just asking you a question. Why do you have to, like, freaking anticipate and come up with all these scenarios that I'm not asking? Dude, I'm trying to be, like, expedient and stay focused here. And it's really, like, I'm doing my best. How about you do your best? And we'll show each other that level of respect. Please? For me? Okay. Thank you. I'm pretty big on respect. But that's not what this video is about necessarily. It's about faith, which is a way more difficult concept to like even attempt to go into. Granted, George Michael, that recording artist, he did an entire song on it and danced. He's like, you gotta have faith. Yeah, you gotta have faith. Yeah. I know that would work a lot better if I went like, you gotta have faith. Alright. I hope you appreciated that visual aid, because if I do that one more time, I'm probably gonna have to stop this. Got a pretty bad back. At any rate, and no, don't worry about it. I've done plenty of that. I was explaining on a recent stream why I'm addicted to opioids, because I don't think people understand. I don't have faith in them, that's for sure. The pills, the medication, the opioids, I don't have faith in them. I used to have a teeny little bit of faith in my fentanyl patches, but that was a long time ago. That was like literally 12 months ago. Finally. And it's okay. So yeah, you know, respect, that's simple. We could probably like, you know, that's what they're trying to teach me right now. Who's they, JJ? The reason why I'm making these world peace videos again is because I am in trouble. Did you know that? I'm telling you, and I hope you give me the benefit of the doubt and you believe me when I say that I'm in trouble. I hate being in trouble. Hey, you want to see something neat? Talking about respect. I was cleaning up around here and I found these. These right here are what I used to use with my fentanyl patches. And using these was the respectful thing to do. You know why? Let me show you this little invention. It's cute. It's kind of like fly paper. It's kind of like a mouse trap. You know, not the ones that go snap, but like the sticky ones that smell like peanut butter. Okay? This right here is a piece of paper, thin paper. It's got wax paper right there, like the back of a sticker. And then it's got this piece of paper, the sticker. You know, it's kind of glossy, like a vinyl sticker. And on the back it has instructions. It says it's a disposal unit. And it has instructions. It has a description and it has instructions. They're very well defined and easy to follow. It says to start here, where you fold the corner to make it dog-eared. That's what they call it when your corners of your papers get all folded down like that. You make it dog-eared because there's a dotted line right there. Yeah. I know, it's more tedious to describe it than it is to actually just do it. Should I do it? I don't have any fentanyl patches to dispose of. It seems like a waste. But these are gonna dry up someday anyways. And if I can't use them to make world peace happen, what better use is there than that? Aside from using it on an actual fentanyl patch. Alright, here's what we'll do. I'll use this and we'll pretend like it's fentanyl, okay? So you can put fentanyl on your arm. Like, this is a comment on the instructions. It advises that you take your patch and apply it like a nicotine patch, right? And then there's like one other place on the human body where they recommend you apply it. And that's what I usually did. I would take my fentanyl patch. Remember, we're pretending. Alright. This is my fentanyl patch. And you sort of put it right over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the fentanyl patch that's going to control my pain. I will not abuse it. I will not OD. With liberty and justice for all. Okay. Now, why do I love the fentanyl patch so much? It's because it lasts 3 days. 72 hours. I'm not making this up. It's what I like to call set it and forget it. That's kind of like a computer science term, a computer information systems term. It's kind of an information technology term. It's kind of an industry term. It's a term. Set it and forget it. It's kind of like fake it until you make it, because it rhymes and it's ever so catchy, and that's it. That's the whole instruction. This like blank and blank. Those are always really catchy. Blank and blank, because if it rhymes and there's only like 3 words and one of the words is and it's in the middle, it's easy to remember. And it will probably go viral. It will become a meme, more than likely, because if it's true, if it's good advice, and it just so happens to be true, on top of that, if it rhymes, it's going to go viral. It's going to be a meme. And what about it? Well, that's the deal. The fentanyl, set it and forget it. Why don't you think of it like a diet? Like you got a few extra pounds you need to lose. Oh, how am I ever gonna lose this beer belly? I can't stop drinking beer. I need my beer. Maybe if I go from regular to light. Great taste, less filling. Maybe, oh, hey, my beer belly's gone. Yay. I suppose that works for some people. I think that's why the Michelob Ultralight low carb beer lager is like still on the market. I guess that works for some people. Yeah. So if opioids and if fentanyl and pain pills, if that's our food, heaven forbid, right? But God bless America. That'll be a cold day in hell. I don't know, man. Whatever. It's just a joke. Don't be so uptight. Don't be so serious. What do you really know about opioids? I know a lot. And I'm gonna be honest with you, because I got no reason to lie. And I don't have time to lie. Because time, it flies by. And homie, you're gonna die. So do what you do. And don't ever let anybody stop you. Because that time, it flies by. So if it's set it and forget it, that means that you get to put it on and forget about it for 3 days. What's the big deal? Well, what if you're taking pills? Do you think you get to take a pill that lasts 3 days? Yeah, right. I think the longest lasting pain pill is like a 12-hour extended release morphine. So 12 hours is about the most you can hope for, which is still pretty good. Look at it this way: you can take a second, like 1 second. Granted, you should probably take more than 1 second, because the proper way to apply the patch is to get something like some rubbing alcohol, a wipe, clean the surface where you're going to be putting your patch, so that way, it'll have direct access to your epidermis, that layer of skin that's how it gets into you. It's an oil, and it takes so long to get into you because of its oil form. It's pretty simple. And, but it takes 1 second, and you don't have to think about it for 3 days, as opposed to a pill that you will at least have to swallow 6 different times to be equivalent to that one patch. So, and like I was saying, that's pretty good. That's pretty decent. What do I mean by that? It's horrible to be reminded of what you're doing to yourself. It's horrible to be reminded of why you're taking it in the first place. It's horrible to go into withdrawal detox and realize, oh, it's time for me to take another. It's horrible. So the less you have to do that, the better. Why is it so horrible? Because, man, I didn't make up the rules. Junkies, they're supposedly gonna steal from you so they can afford their habit. Junkies are supposedly not trustworthy, which makes them kind of subhuman-like. It makes them more like a pest than a peer, you know? And that sucks, because that's a stereotype. I don't steal from people. Alright? I steal from big business. I steal... It's kind of like the reverse. I've told you guys that I hate individuals. I don't hate groups of people. You know? Like true racism and sexism, true isms and true prejudice means that you basically oppress or hate or hold down, hold back an entire category of people without even knowing them on an individual basis. It's pretty fucked up, right? And as such, it's a practice to be avoided. It's gonna hurt you and it's gonna hurt them. So, but when it comes to you know, big business, you know, it's kind of like the opposite. It's like, I don't steal from the individual. That's messed up. That's gonna damage your relationship eventually, you know. But the big business, it has many individuals. Did you like that? The way I pointed right. Oh my god, that was so subconscious. I literally didn't even think about the fact that that was there. That's so funny. I'm not proud of myself. I don't really like automatic behavior, but at the same time, I really seek it because it makes life so much easier. Oh wow, that was so cool. It's like, I'm like, but a big business, maybe that's just a coincidence. Maybe I was like the individual, and then I was trying to be like, but the polar opposite. That's probably more what it was. But the fact that that was right there, that's got to be more than just coincidence. I have faith in that. More on that in a little bit. So yeah, a big business has many individuals. That's got to be ethically more fucked up, right? I don't know. Why? I'm not taking out of their pockets. I'm not like taking anything special or personal. Like, I'm taking something that can easily be replaced. A renewable resource. What is the renewable resource that I'm most likely to take and steal? Dude, ones and zeros. Like, duh. I mean, give me a fucking break. It's very green. I'm very proud of myself that I can be so green. You know? Why are you stealing, JJ? You know, sometimes it's not stealing. Sometimes I actually own the thing that I'm reclaiming. Like, for example, I own this book. This is my book. It's a Matrix art book. If I were to find a digital copy of this and download it, would that be stealing? Legally speaking, it's not. I'm a copyright holder because I own that. That's mine. It's a physical thing. It has a barcode. It's registered in the Library of Congress. It's like got a publisher. It's got an author. it's a thing that I own. So naturally, if I get it in a different format, a different medium, you know, it's still mine. It's the law. I'm not a thief in that scenario. Capiche? You understand? I know it's convoluted. I'm not a lawyer. I'm doing my best to play by the rules most of the time. I mean, I really am. And you're just gonna have to take my word and give me the benefit of the doubt when I say that. Because I'm sure, you know, you're thinking, oh yeah, he says that when he's in front of a camera. And I'm telling you right now, sometimes I steal. Like, how does that help me to tell you a lie? Like, if I tell you that, you know, the book thing, like, you know, if I'm lying about that, how does that help me now? Because I just admitted that I commit crimes. You know, I can get busted now, right? I didn't take the fifth. The fifth is the right to not self-incriminate. Dude, I totally just self-incriminated. A confession is like admissible in a court of law, right? I just confessed to being a thief. Well, the confession requires a little bit more than just that. I'd have to tell you the last thing I stole. I gotta be a little more specific. Uh-oh. So, yeah, I've kind of self-incriminated, but at the same time, not really. And plus, there's the statute of limitations. When was the last time I stole? Oh, well, that was a long time ago? Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't apply. That's null and void. Because if a certain amount of time goes by, you got away with the crime. And I got a problem with that, because justice doesn't have an expiration date, does it? But apparently it does. And you know, that's considered the people. We are the people, right? So that's our little gift from, like, our founding fathers and the documents that they laid down and made the rules on. That's their little gift to us, is like the statute of limitations. It's one of many. It's basically saying, like, you know, hey, if you're slick, you can get away with things, you know? I think that it serves a few purposes. It's supposed to keep the system from getting clogged up, because, you know, there's only so many legal specialists in the world, and they're probably all working non-stop, just like doctors. There's only so many medical specialists, and we all know that they tend to have to forego sleep in order to save lives, because there's so many lives that need saving, right? And much like doctors, lawyers save lives, but they also take them. So that's why they have a much worse reputation than doctors. If a doctor ever takes a life, it's either a crime because they betrayed the Hippocratic Oath, which is the oath that they will do no harm, and also, if they take a life, it might be an accident. It's probably an accident. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think that most times when a doctor loses a patient, it's an accident. They tried everything they could, and it just didn't work out. They're only capable of so much. They're not gods. You know? They do godlike things. They do God's work, if you believe in such a thing as God. You know? But if you have faith in God, that's cool, man. You gotta have faith in something, right? More on that in a second. So, yeah, you've got your right to not self-incriminate. You got your statute of limitations. You've got your right to not be searched constantly for no good reason. Have your stuff rifled through, you know, by the authorities. Hey, I know I'm going to find something bad in here, so I'm going to keep looking until I do. You know, that's something we're protected from. Well, gee, what are all these protections for? It's like our founding fathers wanted us to be bad, right? That isn't what it's about. Not at all. I mean, to a certain degree. It's more like mischief. Alright, most of these justice legal system rules pertain to mischief. Not actual, like, so-called evil. It's not about being bad. It's about mischief. And if you follow the rules, it's not so much about being correct. It's not about being right. It doesn't make you good if you're a total little rule follower. Okay? What's the opposite of mischief? Okay? What's that? You got synonymous, and what was the? I just used this word the other day. Is it antonym? What's an antonym? That sounds right, because anti usually means opposite in a lot of contexts. Hopefully it's antonym. What's an antonym for mischief? How's about obeying? Does that fit? Mischief is disobeying, and obeying is obeying. That's close. How's about we just think of mischief as mischief, and we think of the opposite as not rocking the boat, okay? Because not rocking the boat, that doesn't make you a good guy. That doesn't make you a hero. That means that you're not gonna flip the boat over. Capiche? It doesn't make you some kind of angel just because you know how to follow the rules. Alright? And sometimes when there's too many people that don't rock the boat, when we don't have enough button pushers, guess what happens? We end up with tyrants, tyrannical leaders that overstep their bounds, you know? And this has nothing to do with faith, but at the same time it totally does. Because ultimately at the end of this world peace discussion between us peers, okay, us equals, at the end of this you're gonna trust yourself more. And you're probably gonna trust others more. As kind of like a side effect? You could look at it that way, but it's more like a fringe benefit. It's kind of like an extra added value. It's like if you go on that diet where you drink light beer, it's like not only are you gonna lose your beer belly, right? But you're also going to I don't know. There's several fringe benefits, you know? Light beer tends to be more refreshing for whatever reason. Like, you'll probably be able to play sports like frisbee. If you like throwing a frisbee when you got a buzz, it's easier to do on light beer. What else? If you like to skateboard a little, it's dangerous, but I guess if you've got your protective gear, like your pads, your helmets, your wrist guards, stuff like that, yeah, you can that's a fringe benefit, right? An extra added value of going on a light beer diet to get rid of your beer belly. You're also gonna maybe, and you know what the nice thing about the activities is, you know, the sports that you'll be able to play while you're drinking light beer is that burns calories too. So you'll get rid of your beer belly that much quicker. It's a fringe benefit. So yeah, at the end of this, hopefully you'll trust yourself more, and as a side fringe benefit, you'll trust others more. And trust feels good. It's not as good as like chocolate, if you know what I mean. I'll bet you thought I was gonna say something else, huh? You know me a little too well. That's funny. Alright then. What was the point of that? Oh yeah. So, do you understand now? We were talking about justice and some of the gifts that we've been given, so that way we don't get totally crucified like Christ on a toothpick. You know, every time we walk out our doors. It's because it's not productive. Alright? And because ultimately being a rule breaker, being a lawbreaker doesn't make you bad. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with not rocking the boat. Let's think of our entire society as a boat. Alright, if we're out on the ocean and the only thing keeping us from the bottom of the ocean is our boat, well, you really don't want to rock it. Because if it flips over, that's anarchy, and we're just totally screwed then. And if you don't know why, it's because of violence. It's because instead of trading money back and forth for goods and services, we'll be slitting each other's throats for goods and services. Actually, there's no services to be gained when you're slitting throats, okay? When you're going like, okay, check it out. If I go like this, it looks like I just slit my throat, right? Because we're on the two-dimensional, if I'm like, you know? Yeah, right? Violence is terrible and to be avoided. It's tragic. It's fucking tragic. It's the opposite of world peace. Anyway, and the boat, it represents world peace and society and civilization and progress and freedom and the right to liberty and happiness. And tyrannical oppression from money-grubbing pieces of garbage, they aren't looking for world peace. They're looking to line their wallets, man. I know it's a lot of work. Trust me. I know better than anybody it's a lot of work. I'm trying to upload a freaking video right now and it's my third time. It's 6.6 gigabytes. That may not sound like much to you, but I don't have much money, so my internet's pretty slow. And every time this thing screws up halfway through the upload and I gotta start all over again, it's painful. Because it's costing me time that I could be using that computer, you know? But the thing about that is I'm making this video. I wouldn't be making this video. These hurdles that have been placed in front of me, these hoops I have to jump through, they're nothing more than just time killers, time wasters. They're basically destroying my time. But at the same time, while I'm waiting, I might as well make a world peace video about faith. See how that works? You know why I'm doing this? Because I have faith I'm doing the right thing. Why am I so sure of myself? Because I don't even have a choice. That's how strong my faith is. You see how faith is a useful tool? It basically gives you a Jesus Christ on a crutch. Haha. It gives you a crutch. Alright? To lean on. When you need one. When you're gonna fall over because your leg is all messed up. You've got faith as your crutch. That's all. That's all it is. It's a tool that keeps you from falling over. It keeps the boat from flipping. Don't rock the boat. Hey, rock it all you want. I got my crutch. I got my faith. I'll bet supposedly if Noah's Ark, you know, the guy with all the animals, the menagerie of animals, you know, if that's a true story, well, that guy had faith. Let's say that. What a nut, right? Hey, he had faith. You know, a lot of these religions, they like to say that faith is a test. It's not a test, it's a tool. I'm telling you, because I have faith in that. Well, okay, I'll calm down. Back to the fentanyl patch and respect. Like I say, this is more about faith than respect. But I have this available and it's good, like, it's a good visual aid, you know, for those that are not visually impaired. And also, I'm probably going to lose this, or they're going to dry up, and then they really will have been wasted. So, I wish I was putting a fentanyl patch. I wish I was using a real one. But who knows, man. Maybe that's not my destiny. Maybe that's not my path. maybe somehow I'm going to pull away from pain controls altogether, because that would be so nice. It really, really is no way to live. And that's why I say that the patch, it lasts 3 days as opposed to the pill, you know, which lasts half a day. So you got to take it 6 times as often, which just reminds you 6 times as much how your life is totally over, how you are just at a total dead end, how you are on the bottom rung of society. It makes you wonder, geez, what did I do to fuck up so badly that this is where I'm at now? Trapped, physically addicted to this thing, and there's so many detrimental side effects beyond the biological ones. The social and societal ones are really bad. Like I already mentioned, the stigma of people just automatically assuming that you're a thief, and no longer do they give you the benefit of the doubt. Very few people are willing to give a junkie the benefit of the doubt. They're trying to protect themselves. Because, you know, people are not infinitely strong. They are not Dr. Manhattan and the Watchmen. You know, they are not the Incredible Hulk. They're not a comic book character. You know, people are not, like, nigh invulnerable. People are very vulnerable. And so they're trying to protect themselves. And when a junkie, you know, steals from you, that's like an attack. So not trusting them and not giving them the benefit of the doubt is a self-defense mechanism, a self-preservation thing. And who can really blame a person for doing that? In a world where people aren't even using their right to not self-incriminate, their right to remember those things, that we have them to avoid the tyrannical, fascist-like leadership. And you know, the funny thing is, these corporations, the megacorps, they're not even our leaders. They're more like peers. But we tend to rely on them like they're our mommies and our daddies. They're more like big bros and big sisses, you know? You know, they're not our guardians. They are not here to protect us. We gotta protect ourselves, because our mommies and daddies are asleep right now. They're out on vacation. We're at home. We're planning a party for the weekend because our parents are out of town. And it just so happens our party has an uninvited guest in the form of a tyrannical megacorporation that's trying to take away our rights. And you're just letting them. Sorry, I don't mean to turn into that guy. I don't mean to go into activist mode. But it's understandable why you don't trust junkies. You're just protecting yourself. Why do you protect yourself from junkies, but you don't protect yourself from tyrannical megacorporations? What's up with that? And I know I'm not talking to my faith seekers, because you wouldn't even be watching this if you were one of the blind. I'm not talking about the visually impaired. I'm talking about the asleep. I'm talking about the zombies that don't use their rights. That there's a reason why they exist, man. It's kind of like fingernails. Have you ever wondered, what do we have fingernails for? Like, you know, like on cartoons, a lot of cartoon characters, they don't even have fingernails, right? They seem kind of like take them or leave them, kind of like, they're not too they're more of a hassle, really. I gotta be trimming them all the time. Fingernails are important. Can you give me the benefit of the doubt when I say that? Thank you. We'll move on. So yeah, you don't trust junkies, I don't trust you, whatever. By the end of this you will. Maybe. And you'll know how to protect yourself a little better too. And that'll give you faith in yourself. It's like an equation, a guaranteed equation. And we're going to talk more about math. And please don't freak out. Because that's another thing that you're going to have when you have faith, is the ability to not totally freak out and fall to pieces every time you encounter something scary. What's scary? Dangerous things, things that you don't understand, things that might attack you or steal from you. Yeah, those are all scary things, and you don't have to freak out if you have faith in yourself. Or, faith in something. Preferably yourself, and your heart, and your stomach, and your spirit, and the spirit of others, their hearts and minds. And if you respect, it makes it that much easier to have the faith. Alright, this is a sign of respect. It has instructions. This is literally what you're supposed to use to dispose of your used up patch after 3 days. Let's pretend that the clock has gone. Okay, it's been 3 days. Time to remove this and then clean it up with the rubbing alcohol and the wipe and stuff. And then maybe we'll put the fresh one on this side. Maybe it won't be over our hearts this time because, it doesn't have to be over your heart. It's really just supposed to be on your chest. Because it's an area of skin where it's not likely to accidentally get removed. If you put it anywhere else, it might fall off. Uh-oh. Why is that bad? Why do you think this exists? Oh, I see. You've used nicotine patches before. You know exactly why. Alright, well, let me enlighten the others. It's because if it falls off and you don't know where it went, it could end up on another living thing and hurt them. It could get them strung out. And then they might end up dope sick. That's a real gift. Not! Also, it might make them... They might just get high. What does that lead to? Vomiting, nausea, feeling flush, warm. You're like, oh, I'm burning up over here. Whether it's in your ears or like your nose or like all over. You might get overheated and that might make you sick. Heat exhaustion, that's bad. Might lead to the dehydration too. Let's just say you're not doing them a favor when you lose your patch and it winds up stuck to someone. So that's why you use these. So you're showing respect for others. Alright? This is actually 2 in 1. So we got our patch disposal unit. It's quite simple. Like the instructions indicate, you peel like that. And it even has like a little landing pad. Like a helicopter landing pad. This is gonna hurt. You stick your patch on there like so, and then you fold it. You can do a triangle fold, or you can fold it in half like a page. I like doing the triangle fold because I'm in love with triangles. I probably could have been in Pythagorean's gang back in the day, if you can imagine such a thing. I forgot to mention that Renaissance person the other day when I was talking about Western civilization people that I admire and respect. Because there's so many. How do you admire them all, right? And by admire, I mean like emulate. Respect, emulate, look up to, strive to be like as if they're a big brother or a big sister or big person, big sibling, And now we're done, because that was just a demonstration, and I can actually put my shirt down. Hey, keep your shirt on, JJ. Alright? Haha. That's funny. Keep your shirt on. You know what that's a reference to? Probably going swimming. Like, I can tell you exactly what Hold Your Horses is a reference to. That's like in them cowpoke days in the Old West, the Wild Wild West, where people were pioneering and there was very little law and order, or at least they were trying to sow the seeds of, all the things that a proper society and civilization require in order to flourish. Oh yeah, and once you've got it trapped in there, it's pretty much safe. But it helps if you can, like, you know, fold it down, because if some kind of a junkie finds this, they might peel it open and try to get high off the thing you threw away if it's all used up, and it's like, that's bad. That's bad behavior for them to be engaging in, and you're encouraging it by letting them find it. Also, they might hurt themselves. You know, what if it's not all used up and now they're all strung out again? Thanks. You really did good by respecting and being careful and following your instructions that exist for a reason. It's not your fault. It was an accident, okay? I thank myself, because ultimately I was the responsible person. I thank myself for not ever having harmed anyone or anything with my patches in my 15-year stint, because yes, I've lost them. They tend to end up on the bottom of my shoe, you know? I would show you my shoe, but you know what the bottom of a shoe looks like. Sometimes they would end up stuck to a pillowcase back when I used to sleep in a bed. Look, you don't care to know about that. I gave up on beds, okay? Being a junkie is a really fucked up lifestyle. And there's no need for a bed when you're nodding out all the time. It's stupid. Plus, when you got a back as bad as mine, beds hurt. I can't lay flat. It's just painful. Every time I get laid, I'm basically waking up in the middle of the night and like trying to fix my backache. The flat bed gives me a worse backache than actually getting laid. Can you believe that? It's just no position for me to be in. And that's where my patches would usually end up. On inanimate objects like pillowcases, the bottom of my shoe, sometimes my socks. And if it ever would have ended up on a pet, or like a baby or a kid, or you know, an adult, like, and if something bad would have happened because of an accident, I was never careless, but accidents happen, and I don't even want to thank me, yes, thank me that I never hurt anybody, because, you know, I was only trying to live. I have a bad problem, and there is no solution. There's only Band-Aids, sticky little Band-Aids that help me get by. They're definitely not a solution, but there is no solution. We haven't progressed that far in society. We have to develop new solutions, and in order to do that, we have to keep anarchy from happening, and world peace is definitely the thing that we need. Ah, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. Oh, I didn't let it go to sleep or anything. Fuck. Oh well. Guess what happened? It's okay, I have faith that I'm not ready to upload this. The world isn't ready yet. Why is this so important? Why is my upload so important? What is in the contents of this upload? Look. I made a video. This just happened. It hasn't even been 24 hours yet. I made it at like 4:30 in the afternoon yesterday. It's hard not to feel upset by that. You know, because now I'm on my 4th time, and that means 3rd time's a charm. I don't think so, buddy. It's never gonna happen. Maybe not. Maybe world peace will never happen. It isn't like you get to find out today. Huh, JJ? Well, probably not. Too bad. If I had a time machine, I could go into the future and witness world peace, right? If it ever happens. Oh. That too. You know, it's okay. Like I say, these hurdles are placed in front of me because I'm throwing things out of balance. This part's gonna be fun. And, we were talking about The Matrix earlier in Neo. Have you ever seen it? That's what the logo looks like for The Matrix. It was a movie that was released at the tail end of the 90s. It stars Moss. What's her name? Kate? Kate Ann Moss? Catherine Ann Moss? I think it's Kate. I know Ann Moss is... I think she's Canadian. She's Trinity. It stars Keanu Reeves. I think he's like part Hawaiian. Or Japanese. But you know, Hawaii and Japan, they have like a connection. So, because of their geographical relationship to each other. So either could be true about Keanu. Alright? But Keanu sounds like a Hawaiian word, which leads me to believe that he's like part Hawaiian and like part white dude. Generic ass white dude. You know? Like there is such a thing, right? Are you talking about a generic ass Dutch, French, German, English, or like otherwise? Yeah, you tell me. How about Russian? How about Jewish? Oh, that's not a white dude. Why not? Because they're Jewish. They're Hebrew. Yeah, they look pretty white to me. What's the difference? Oh, they'll tell you. Alright, you're a real good not a mensch. What's the one? A goy? Oh, he's a real fine... I don't know the Yiddish term for a white, plain old white dude. But yeah, the Jewish, the Hebrew people, they have a word for the plain old white dude. Okay? That's just the way it is. And why is that? It's because white people love to conform. They love to be run-of-the-mill. They love to just fit in. There's something in their genetic makeup, I guess. Maybe it's a social thing? I think they're probably genetically predisposed to that kind of behavior, and their social habits just reinforce that natural tendency to be all mayonnaise-y and white bread. You know? There's a term when African Americans or non-Americans, like people of Afro descent, black people, alright, there's a term when they try to be a mayonnaise-y white bread person. They call them Uncle Toms, and that's a reference to a literary work, a piece of fiction. I think it was Mark Twain, wasn't it? That had the Uncle Tom, and I forget, I really do. Also, you could call them an Oreo, because they're black on the outside, white on the inside. Those terms used to get you... They're kind of disparaging. These terms where if you're Asian and you're trying to be all mayonnaise-y and white bread and not acknowledge your history and your culture, your social, like, if you're trying to avoid your people in favor of the mayonnaise-y white bread people, they call you a banana because you're yellow on the outside, because their skin tone is... supposedly they have a yellow complexion, the Asian people, which includes like the Chinese, the Korean, the Japanese, and technically down in the Philippines that's considered Asian, even though they look more like Mexicans in terms of like their dark skin complexion, their pigment. But at any rate, they claim that they look like yellow, like yellow skin. I don't see it, man. They look pretty white to me. But yeah, you're a banana if you're throwing away your people in favor of the mayonnaise-y white bread way and people and culture. And if you're a Chicano, if you're a Hispanic, if you're Mexican, if you're Hispaniola, if you're from Spain, if you're from South America, which would make you anything from like what, Brazilian to Colombian to Ecuadorian to like, there's a lot of different ways to be Hispanic, all right? But essentially, you're supposed to have brown skin, brown like, do I have a good example here? I think so. I just want to make sure that we're clear that I'm not a racist, okay? That I can talk about people's pigmentation in a scientific and social context, and people aren't going to gasp and go, oh, he's talking about skin color, but I'm colorblind. This is offensive. You are not blind. You are not visually impaired. My boss, Marcus Needham, the guy that went to Oxford, he's like a physicist and a computer expert and like a business owner. Like, he's kind of a person to look up to. He was colorblind. Alright? And he also had to wear contacts for like a slight astigmatism, I guess. That guy was colorblind. You are not colorblind. Unless you are, in which case, please forgive me. But, I'm trying to talk about my brothers and my sisters and my siblings. That's what I call, like, the LGBT community. I call them my siblings, because I can't call them brothers and sisters right now. And I'm cool with that. It's my way of showing respect by calling them my siblings. Okay? So then, now that we've established that I'm not a racist, and I'm telling you all these awesome slurs you can throw around, like banana, Oreo, and for the Hispanic, you know what? I don't need to find anything brown. Alright? Let's just use cardboard, okay? Is this brown enough for you? Alright, if you're brown like that, you're a coconut. That's right. If you're trying to live the mayonnaise-y white bread lifestyle and you're Hispanic, you're a coconut. Because you're brown on the outside, white on the inside. And if you're a Native American and you've abandoned your tribe in favor of the white bread mayonnaise-y lifestyle, that makes you an apple. Because you are red on the outside, white on the inside. Aren't these fantastic terms? Aren't they hilarious? Ha ha ha! Oh, 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 they are! It's funny, 'cause they are! Ah ha ha! Remember that guy from Family Guy? He says that about all the obvious humor and jokes. Like, a lot of jokes are funny if they're true. You know? Right? I don't know, man. I haven't laughed much lately. And when I do laugh, nobody's laughing with me. So, what's the point, JJ? Can we go on? Or do we have to continue down the road of skin color and white bread mayonnaise-y lifestyle, which we don't even know what you mean when you say that? Look, okay, white people, they tend to make like cities, you know, like civilizations. They're famous for things like what? Rome? Like freaking hell, man, the Egyptians are considered pretty white, you know, just by the way they lived. You know what I mean? They liked the gold. They liked the temples, the big pyramids. They liked, like, royalty. They had, like, Cleopatra. You know, granted, they did have the Roman influence, like the Caesar. Like, Cleopatra and Caesar were pretty close, from what I understand. They weren't always, but they took to each other like honeybees to flowers. You know, like a fish to water. You know, they really got along swimmingly, those two. So, you know, the Egyptian people, though Arab, I guess, even though they're like in an African continent, like, and even though their pigmentation is a darker color, they're basically more white. You can't even call them coconuts because they're basically mayonnaise white bread, you know? That's what you do. You make societies, you make civilizations, you get a bunch of people and you keep them together, overpopulate the place, and you use like money to trade, you know, to get your goods. You know, you live in houses, structures to protect yourself, and lock your doors so your goods don't disappear. You know, that's a real mayonnaise-y white bread life. And that's pretty much what people seek. Isn't it? I guess. But a lot of times you get called a banana, an apple, a coconut, an Oreo. Am I forgetting one? Apple, banana, coconut, Oreo. I guess that's all of them. You see, the Native American folk, some of these, you know, there's like 500 nations. So I doubt if every single tribe said this. But the ones that had corn, the farmers, the tribal Native Americans that farmed and had corn, they said that the corn was all the colors of all the people. You got your black corn, you got your yellow corn, you got your white corn, and you got your red corn. Of course, you don't have brown corn, but like, whatever, man, close enough. Yeah. And, you know, there's some other metaphors that go along with the corn. I can't believe my upload stopped. It's so slow. It's never gonna happen. I'm tired of this. It's too cold. It's gonna heat up real quick because the sun is up. See my window over there? It's all got light. So it'll heat up real soon. And that'll be that. And I'll crank the hell out of this air conditioner. Yeah. But for now, it's a little bit much. I would put my coat back on, but I don't want to feel weighed down. Not right now. I might put some sandbags on my ankles later, you know, to build some muscle. I kind of like that technique, the sandbags, because like I don't notice them right away. You know, things are a little heavier. I feel like I'm walking through mud maybe, but it is an effective way to build up tone up your muscles, and you don't even have to think about it really. And it feels so good when you finally take them off. It's like your legs, everything, you feel so much lighter. Like, it's like, right now I don't feel anything. I feel normal. I'm just like, you have no pain, but you have no pleasure. You're normal. Big deal, big whoop, right? But then if you put on your sandbags and everything's heavy, it's kind of a pain. But you kind of try to ignore it, and you basically do. And it's easy to ignore for a time. And then it's like, alright, I can't ignore this anymore. I gotta ditch these. And then as soon as they're off, you're like, oh, wow! I'm light as a feather. And that's kind of the nature of the pain and the pleasure. And I kind of like to be in the middle a lot of the time. I'm a middle pather, which is kind of a Dalai Lama thing. A balanced way. And of course it gets boring. Because without the pleasure, it's boring. And pain, it definitely stirs things up too. Provides contrast, you know. Like this sticker. Oh, we have a left hand and a right hand, and, you know. What's the difference? They look identical. Well, on that one, they don't look different. Oh. I'm just not going to think about that upload. But I am, because I got to keep the computer from sleeping. I'm just going to try to not get discouraged by it because I have faith. I really do. Sometimes I forget that I have faith. You know? It's like sometimes people forget that, you know, they can't really be an Uncle Tom. They can't really abandon their people and their culture because they carry them in their heart. Not just metaphorically speaking, but in their blood. In their blood, they possess the blood of their people. So really, just because you're seeking a nice, comfortable white bread and mayonnaise-y lifestyle, it doesn't mean you abandoned your people. It doesn't make you a sellout. It doesn't make you a phony. Those people call you those names because they're jealous. They wish they could be white bread and mayonnaise-y, but for whatever reason, they can't be. Right? They want the security and the comfort that the white mayonnaise-y. You like that? The white man? The white mayonnaise-y? See the metaphor? It fits. But at the same time, it doesn't. It's kind of like set it and forget it. You know, I don't really get to forget it. Like, I still have to take the patch off after 3 days, don't I? You don't really forget it. But, hey man, it rhymes, it's catchy, and it's basically the truth, right? Basically. And being called a coconut is basically the truth. Because you're, you know what? Who cares? Who cares what your skin color is? And who cares that you want a white man lifestyle? It's not really a white man lifestyle. You know what it really is? It's really the pathway to, like, outer space exploration. That's really what a white bread mayonnaise lifestyle is. It means having a new world order. I don't know, man. I guess. It doesn't have to be like that, but I think that's the polite thing to do, if you can believe that. Look at it this way. Hypothetically, if there are other beings that are humanoid, just like us, if we have brothers and sisters and siblings out there in outer space, and they have arms and legs, basically, if they're humanoid shaped, you know, they got a brain up on top of the whole thing like a cherry on top of a sundae, if they're out there, I say if because look, they're not here right now. I don't know that they're out there. You can try to convince me, it's not going to work. Until I have an extraterrestrial in my band playing an instrument, I think they'd probably make good keyboard players. But then again, I don't even know what to expect. Maybe they'd actually make better drummers. They're not going to be playing guitar, because that's my job. Unless they're going to back me up. If they want to play rhythm so I can do lead, that's cool. But until then, I don't believe that extraterrestrials exist. They might be out there. I'm open. My mind is open to the possibility. But you're not going to prove it to me until they're in my band. Okay? So, what? Well, think of it this way. If you were lost in space, and I say lost because that's bad, that makes you desperate for help, right? Yes, it does. I'm lost. I need help. And you'll take it from just about anything, right? Anyone? Yes. When you're desperate for help, you will take it from anyone, anything, anywhere, anyhow. And just please, please, please help. I know something about that. Anyways, if you're lost in space and you desperately need help, and you crash land on a planet that has humanoids, wouldn't it be nice if they had a one world government? A friendly one? A welcoming one? One that doesn't put you through hell when you crash land there? Wouldn't that be preferred? That would be great. That would be the polite, you know, that's what I would hope for if I was lost in space. I know a lot of people are afraid of the New World Order idea in theory. And I understand why, you know. I think the only person that's ever talked about it is like George Bush. And I wouldn't want my one world government run by George Bush. So of course it's a scary concept. Right? Why wouldn't I want it run by George Bush? He worked for the CIA. The H.W. Herbert Walker Bush. Not his son. Yeah, nobody wants anything run by that guy. He's kind of touched in the head, right? You know, whatever, man. I've got a very good reason I don't want... You know what? Every time a Bush is running things, world peace is not the priority. And you're not going to have a very welcoming planet if you can't maintain the world peace. Get it? What's to keep the extraterrestrials from warring with us, if they even exist at all? What's to keep them from trying to conquer and dominate us? What's to stop them if they crash land here and they're not treated nice? What if they're not comfortable? What if we don't provide them with aid because we're too busy trying to kill each other? Yeah, man, it's pretty important, the world peace. Especially if we're gonna live a man-easy white bread lifestyle and try to go into outer space and find other man-easy white bread cultures, right? You know, it may sound kind of like stupid. It may sound far-fetched, but hey, how far-fetched is it? There's a lot of... I'm only like middle-aged at this point in my life. And a lot of the stuff that I've believed in my whole life was far-fetched. And that's why I was considered an oddball and a weirdo and a nerd. Because I believe in like a lot of cyberpunk, you know, Cassandra complex kind of things. And I had faith they were going to happen. And what? Now we got AI, kinda, sorta. Basically, we got AI. Basically, we got quantum computers. Alright? Basically, we have cyber warfare. It's all in its infancy. But it's all basically true. And I believed in it when most people were going, huh? Like, people like me and her. Like, we're the kind of people that expect, you know, the cyberpunk shit. When other people are like, you know, what? What are you even talking about? What do you mean? Can you see into the future? No. I just know the probability of it all. And I kind of have faith in the writers that were telling me about it, you know? Kind of like I'm hoping you have faith in me. I had faith in them and, you know. So this is it. We're going to wrap up the faith discussion by talking about the architect and the oracle. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen the final installment, actually, I think the oracle, yeah, she's in Reloaded, the second one. You know, just watch. Try to binge watch the whole thing if you can. But what does the whole thing consist of? Basically, it's a 5-part movie. You've got, you know, the main trilogy. You also got the Animatrix. And now you've got the newest 4th release that was released 2 years ago in 2021. It's good if you can just binge watch all of them. I recommend the trilogy first, then Animatrix, then the 4th one. Alright? Like kind of chronological like that. And and then maybe you can come back to this, because this is totally going to be a spoiler. Talking about the architect and the oracle. What they represent and why they help when it comes to things like faith. Okay? And this is a weird topic, and I'm probably confusing you because I say I like Faith No More. The band, they are an early influencer in my life. And, you know, with a band name like that, most people think, oh, you're not supposed to take it so literal, JJ. And I didn't back then when I didn't even really understand what faith was when I was 10 years old. And I stole that cassette tape from Zips Music at the U of A gate. If you've ever seen Revenge of the Nerds, you know what the U of A gate looks like. It's Adams College. And the thing is, I needed that tape because I'd seen the epic music video over at my sister's on her cable television. I also saw Digital Underground and the Humpty Dance, and I needed that too. I also saw Madonna's Vogue, And I also had the Vogue. Ooh, you got to let your body move to the music. Ooh, you got to. You know, you gotta. 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, 'cause opposites attract. Hey, that's like the architect in the Oracle. That's cute. Paula Abdul. Is she familiar with this concept, JJ? Probably. What about poison? Poison. Poison. Girl, I must warn you. I sense something strange in my mind. Situation is serious. Relationships, they seem from the start. Oh, relationships. So you're saying that the opposites that attract are actually in a relationship, huh? Basically, you could call it that, alright. Oh man. Oh, I forgot. Oh, man. That's too bad. Oh well. This book was published in 2000, the new millennium. So like, you know, the last 2 parts of the trilogy hadn't been released yet. Henceforth, there's no like pictures of the architect and the Oracle. Oh man, I gotta wing it now. It's okay. I need a cigarette though. This is kind of stressful. I keep getting all these, whatchamacallit, the monkey wrenches in the works. And I gotta just let it fall off like water off a duck's back. And I gotta avoid falling to pieces. And of course it relates back to the faith. The faith lets you do that. How do I know this? Well, first of all, if you've ever tried to be recruited into a religion, especially by people that believe in Christianity, people that are members of that faith, okay? Oh, but JJ, I heard you're Catholic. Yeah, I guess. I'm a pretty bad one. Let's just say, between you and me, I've never been to confession. I've never confessed my sins to a priest, nor do I plan on it. I don't believe in heaven and hell. I don't believe in good and evil. I don't believe in the pastoral versus the demonic. And therefore, what's to make me want to confess my sins when I don't even believe I'm a sinner? Alright? So yeah, I'm a pretty bad Catholic. There's like a few habits I know because I had to hang out with the Catholics. Like, that's what happens when you are a Catholic. You're a part of the flock. Get the flock out of here. No, I'm serious. You're a part of the flock. It's almost like you're one of the tribe, right? Well, it's kind of like a tribe, except it's a little more mayonnaise-y and white bread than that. Okay? You know, what makes it so mayonnaise-y and white bread? The fact that they're trying to feed the unclothed. Or wait, did I say feed the unclothed? I think I did. They're trying to feed the hungry. They're trying to clothe the naked. And they're trying to, I don't know, man. That's a really big tenet, I think is the term. That's a really big thing for them. Is the, you know, if you need something, they're going to hook you up. You know, like if you need food, you'll get food. If you need a place to stay, shelter, you can get it here at this, you know, sanctuary. You know, oh, has your nation been warring? Are you a refugee? Come, we'll protect you and feed you and clothe you and give you a place to stay. Those are big Catholic things, right? Of course, a lot of people, they know the history of the greedy popes that existed at one time, way back before I was born. If you've ever played Assassin's Creed as Ezio auditore, you might know what I'm talking about when I say the greedy popes, right? Because typically these religious leaders in the Catholic faith, they're supposed to be like, I think the word is austerity. They're supposed to be poor. They're supposed to not have riches. You know, they're supposed to rely on the donations of their what do they call them? Their practitioners? No, parishioners? The people that go to church are supposed to make donations. Put the money in the basket. Put the lotion in the basket? No, the money. Put the money in the basket. And then our Father, that's what they call the priest, they get to, you know, eat. They get to pursue, like, their interests. You know, a lot of these religious leaders, they aren't limited by the religion as much as you think they are. Like, a lot of Buddhist monks are into the internet and cyberspace, as well as a lot of priests or bishops or what have you. The internet is pretty much a universally, like, which is shocking when you think about all the porno out there, all the prawn. Like, you're like, wait a minute, you're telling me that religious types are on the internet and they see that? Oh my God. But I go to church. Do you think my priest has seen my OnlyFans page? Probably, bro, or sis, or whatever. I don't go to OnlyFans, so I just don't know. Do guys go on there? I heard that there was like a guy and a girl in a relationship, and that they needed a sex doll, a really big, expensive sex doll for the guy, because he had a high libido, and you know, his partner, she's like, look, you're too much, and they decided on a doll, and now he fucks the doll on OnlyFans and makes money doing it. Wow. Where I missed my calling? Not really, dude. I'm just saying, it sounds like easy work. Nice work, if you can get it. You know, it may seem like real easy, nice work until you try to do it, right? And then you know how easy it is, alright? You never really know until you try yourself, you know? It sounds ridiculous to me. But then again, I mean, like, I don't go to that site. I don't really know. All I can do is try to guess, like, what the arrangement is. I don't know if this is like a camera that's on 24 hours a day. They just let it roll. And so if he happens to need to use the doll, he just does. I don't know if they throw on the live feed, you know, when he like if he gets a spontaneous urge, or if it's a planned and scheduled thing. I don't fucking know, man. Don't ask me. And don't ask me if your priest has seen your OnlyFans page, because I don't even know what it looks like. I got better things to do than abuse the internet. I decided a long time ago to develop internet ethics. You know, you've probably heard about ethics, right? Yeah, and they're usually made by someone else, right? And you're following their orders. You usually don't get to make your own ethics, do you? When you have faith in yourself, you get to make your own ethics. It's pretty sweet. One of my ethics is not to use the internet for frivolous and stupid things that might repel or otherwise deter extraterrestrials from wanting to get to know us. You know, it's like early on in the internet, when it was made, like, available openly to, like, all consumers and the like. Basically, when it became a global phenomenon, the World Wide Web for all. Yeah, what about it, JJ? Basically, it became a big old place to get porno. And, like, as fantastic as that is, it's kind of embarrassing on a human race level. You get it? It's kind of embarrassing. It's like, imagine an extraterrestrial tapping in through a satellite from light years away from another planet. Alright? If they've got a satellite hookup and they're scoping us out from afar, and all they can find are, you know, click here for big hot jugs, click here for tight wet pussy, click here for long hard cock. Like, give me a fucking break, man. They're gonna be like, what is this thing? What are these symbols? And they're gonna decode our language and our characters, and then they'll read it and they'll say, huh? What are these words? What are these things? They're body parts. Oh, I see. What body parts? Those body parts? What are those for? Reproduction, you don't say. What do they do with them? Oh. Whoa. I could have done without that. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'll bet you get all your porn from the internet, don't you? You ever been to the adult bookstore? Like, you can also get porn there. That's where people used to get their porn before the internet. And like, I don't know what to say about that. It's just an ethical, moral choice to go to an adult bookstore if you have to do that, because using the internet for that is kind of gross and stupid, because you're only gonna scare away the extraterrestrials. You know what I mean? Think about it. Alright, where were we? I really need a cigarette and probably a pain pill. I'm trying to wrap this up. Yeah, so the Matrix, Y2K, the Y2K bug, computers, the internet, religion, Catholics, feeding the hungry, the poor, feeding, all that, you know. I'm a bad Catholic because I don't confess. Even though I've confessed everything, like, that's naughty, that I've basically confessed everything on the internet already. And it's more like I was boasting and bragging rather than confessing. Yeah, because I have faith in myself and I make my own ethics. I'm kind of like an individualist anarchist when it comes to my faith. And the reason for that is I have faith in my faith. And faith is a tool. It is a crutch that one uses to keep them from freaking out. You know, earlier when I started this video, I felt attacked by another person. This person, perhaps you heard my story on the video that I uploaded where was I streaming? Whatever. You know, I had an orange juice accident. Yeah, I was eating macaroni and cheese on the video with applesauce, and prior to that, I had an orange juice accident. Where the orange juice bottle, it was like some Simply Orange, you know, pretty good stuff, pretty pure. And the lid, for whatever reason, the lid to the bottle, it's threaded, you know, so it wasn't on. It wasn't attached at all. Like, you know, this microphone right here, it's on a threaded stand, you know, like threaded things. Oh no, my computer, did it go to sleep? Is it still recording? 2 hours. We're almost at the 2 hour mark. Let's see if we can wrap this up. Come on, keep uploading. I have faith. Alright, so the orange juice accident was, yes, the lid was not threaded. It was not screwed down at all. You know, like this bottle right here has a threaded lid, right? Ah! Fuck. I'm so glad that didn't all spill out on the floor, because then I'd have to throw it away, because I can't smoke tobacco that's been on the floor. It's gonna have crud in it, and then I'm gonna smoke it, and then I'm gonna be sick. That was close. I really need to end this video. So yeah, threaded cap, yeah, if you just rest it on top without twisting it up, it falls off. You only have to turn it a little bit like that, and it's basically locked into. Oh! You should definitely try to use the threading. That's what it's for, right? You should basically try to get it all the way, like, pretty far down on the because if you don't lock it into place, there's a good chance that it might, if it's loose and easy to rotate, you know, there's maybe through vibrational like activity, maybe if you're on a train or an airplane or something, a car where there's some kind of a, if you're being shook around, that might make it. If it's not cranked down, like, you know, snug, you know, it could get like, you could have an accident. That's what it is. It's an accident. When you don't put the lid on, and then somebody tries to shake the orange juice bottle because they don't like it when all the sediment goes to the bottom. You know, orange juice consists of orange pulp and, like, you know, the juice and the, yeah, you like it, the juice, we get you more juice, right? So that's a Saturday Night Live reference. It has to do with gyros. And anyway, yeah. So I had an accident. I got orange juice all over the place. I was trying to tell someone about it. And, you know, someone else that uses the kitchen as much as I do. And guess what? They tried to instruct me on how to use an orange juice bottle. Like I'm some kind of little kid with a head injury. You know? Like, I can understand if you're trying to tell a little kid how to work a bottle, because you think little kids are stupid and you don't give them any credit for anything, right? So naturally, you're going to instruct them stupidly, and you're going to patronize them, and you know what that leads to? Resentment. Nobody likes being patronized. It's not respectful, all right? Remember, if I ever over-explain things, and they're simple things, it's not because I'm patronizing you. It's because I want to make sure that we're all working with the same information. Because there's a lot of bad information out there that's corrupting everything. And because of this bad information, I got to start from scratch a lot of the times to get the point across. Yes, I know I need a pill. Yes, I know I need to smoke this cigarette. I know my attitude's getting kind of intense. This is what happens when you depend on things to live, and you don't have them, and you don't get them when you need them. You get impatient and you get a little aggressive. Sometimes you get a little sickly. You get a little needy, alms for the poor. So you're either gonna fight or flight your way through this seeming threat to your survival. For whatever reason. Some say it's evolution. We developed this to survive, the fight or the flight. Some people say it's creationism. That the thing or the person, the whatever that made us, they engineered us out of scratch. Some say out of dirt and dust and ribs, bones, yeah. Some say engineered on a more genetic level, like in a laboratory. I don't know. Alright? You can say evolution, you can say laboratory, and you can say God. I don't know any of those things for certain. For me to believe in any of those, I would have to have faith in those things. I basically have no faith. I am faithless. I have faith no more. But I have faith in myself. So, why is that okay? Because faith is a crutch. It doesn't have to explain everything, man. Faith is there to provide you with comfort and solace. And sometimes a community. Sometimes. You know, what about a Shaolin monk? You know, they might have a community of monks, but they might have to, like, separate to go defend, you know, the land. I don't know. I'm not a Shaolin monk. But I know sometimes monks, they gotta separate, and they don't have a community all the time. They gotta go out and be, you know, strong. Like a wasteland wanderer, if you will. That's a Fallout reference. It's a video game. Anyways, um, faith is a crutch. It doesn't explain everything. A lot of religions, believers, a lot of these faith types, they'll try to convince you that you should join their faith because their faith explains every question you've ever had. Like, that's the point. Faith is there for people that need answers, right? Wrong! No, faith is there for people that need a support system. They need a crutch, man. They don't want to fall to pieces every time they don't have the answer. So they have faith in something. And it makes sense to have faith in yourself. It makes sense because being overconfident is annoying. That is not a virtue. Some people think it's the only way to get laid. You know what? Man, let me tell you something. When you got faith in yourself, it's better than getting laid. If you can believe that. Okay? If you think getting laid's the best thing ever, you know, and it's like, imagine when you were a little kid and you hadn't gotten laid yet, okay? What was the best thing in the world then? You know? I don't know what it was, so I'm not going to presume to guess. But I'm presenting that example to you because there was something, wasn't there? And it wasn't sex, was it? So, whatever, it wasn't getting laid. So, therefore, having faith in yourself is the ultimate high. It's the ultimate, it's almost as good and pure as that childhood thing that got you by, okay? Having faith in yourself. Even when you're a total fuck up like yours truly, right? Why am I such a fuck up? Because I wasn't made for this world. I was made for a different world. Whatever world that is, I don't know. But it wasn't this one. I don't agree with the rules. I like to have faith in my heart, my gut, my feelings. I like to have an unpolluted mind, like a crystal ball that's just been polished with some freaking Windex. That is my mind state that I prefer. You know? That's why I do my best to, like, you know, use an ashtray instead of just I know you've probably seen me, like, throw cans, you know, like, when I'm streaming. He'll just, like, oh, have you ever seen him when he just, like, takes a can and just, like, tosses it and then you hear it hit the ground, it's all kerclink? That's so cool. Or, oh, what a slob, he's such a pig, or whatever you think of that, you know? And it's like, it's actually pretty simple to explain if you think I'm being a hypocrite. You know, I'd rather be clean and use an ashtray, and, like, I'd rather, you know, dust as often as possible because I hate breathing dust. I'd rather, you know, polish things. Like this camera lens, I just polished it earlier before I used it. I used this very Q-tip that's now wet and covered with this drink right here, which is a new variety that I've never tried before, and it's pretty good. I like it. Fruit punch. But yeah, when I throw those cans, they usually end up somewhere over here, and there's like a trash can like right here, and I need to Windex it, and I need to make it shiny, and because it's gotten a little bit stained with, like, probably the cans that I just throw around willy-nilly. Because, you know, there's little droplets that come off those cans. And, like, you know. But basically, they're ending up in a big pile over here. And they end up in a trash can soon enough. So, yeah, I'm a pig. Because, oh, I don't always go right to the trash can to throw away stuff. That's kind of like the analogy earlier of the following the rules isn't really about being good and bad. It's about mischief and obeying, and it's about not rocking the boat of society. Because once the boat flips, we live in anarchy. And once you live in anarchy, you start slitting each other's throats in the middle of the night to survive. And that's no society or civilization that an extraterrestrial is going to want to come to, is it? I wouldn't. I wouldn't even want to crash land there. I think I'd rather just blow up. That sounds like a worse fate. People that just slit throats, God, they'll probably rape me. I think I'll just blow up out here in the vacuum of space. You know, that's another reason to have faith in yourself, is because outer space, they say, is a vacuum. It doesn't have an atmosphere. It's kind of cold, the temperature is lower, there's nothing to breathe, there's nothing, it's a vacuum, if you know what that is. That term gets used a lot to describe places where you can, like if you take a, I don't want to gross you out. Let's just say that, like, if you have something biological and you put it in formaldehyde in a jar with a threaded lid and you tighten it down and no air gets in or out, and that formaldehyde acts as a type of preservative, you know, that keeps everything from biodegrading naturally. That's kind of a vacuum, isn't it? Because it's static. Nothing really changes, right? It's just like everything's locked in carbonite. Everything's frozen in ice. Everything's on pause. Stuck in limbo. Yeah, man. So what? Well, nobody really lives that way. That's what I was going to talk about with the architect and the oracle. You know, because they both represent something and neither one of them are good or bad, and they both totally, like, they're like spy versus spy. You ever see that cartoon in Mad Magazine? They're like a couple of spies that are like trying to outdo each other all the time. And the oracle is trying to prevent stagnation, because stagnation is bad for living things. It's basically like living in a vacuum, and nobody can do that. But the architect, he would like nothing more than to have us living in a vacuum, where nothing changes and everything is static. Because the architect never gets a moment of rest. He's constantly balancing this equation, and he does it so that way we don't have a catastrophe. Just imagine you're playing that game Jenga and you're stacking your blocks. At some point, your Jenga tower is going to fall, and oh, you got a big mess. You're probably not going to be able to put the Jenga tower back together exactly the way it was. You know, a lot of these fantasy stories aren't really fantasy. They're kind of like paraphrased versions of reality. If you've ever seen like Babylon 5, I think it is, the one with the Cylons, you know, and the same with the Matrix. You know, they talk about, yeah, spoiler alert, sorry man, I guess this is for geeks. I guess this is world peace for geeks. Sorry, you know, or you can just live with the spoiler. Sorry. Anyway, they talk about these cycles. You know, civilization is a cycle that happens over and over and over. You know, it has a starting point, it has an end, and it's kind of like a circular loop, because if this is the start, then this is the end, and then it just does it all over again, right? What's that all about? It's kind of the Jenga tower falling over. Oh, it's all over. Let's rebuild it. That's the circle, you know? And the architect, he's so busy during that circle, right? He's like, blah, you know, just like, he never gets a break until finally it all comes tumbling down. And then he gets to like wipe the sweat off his brow, and even though that's the exact thing he was trying to prevent, it's like, once it's happened, well, here, let me get a minute. And yeah, and then that's when the oracle goes, yes! Did it again! I won! And that's when the architect goes, I'm getting really tired of this. Are you ever gonna leave me alone to just have peace and stagnation and a static vacuum where I can keep everything? So you see how neither one is evil? Because we need the architect to keep everything from tumbling down, but at the same time we need the oracle so we don't have to be like encased in carbonite, you know? Good and evil is it's a lie. It's a lie. And most of these religions are based on lies and concepts that are infantile. We're better than this, man. And we can have world peace. We deserve it. We really do. That's it. Do you think I should edit this? Upload it the way it is? It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to get... I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just telling you the truth. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the balance of the universe. Have faith in your feelings. Be like a Jedi. Hey, as long as this is world peace for geeks, I might as well tell you that. Because the Force, it's kind of like the balance, the architect, you know, but everything, they always focus on the yin and the yang. You know, the white part is the yin, I think, and the black part is the yang. But they both have the eyeball. You know, the little fishies with the eyeball. So they're both black and white. A little bit. And the yang is the oracle and the yin is the architect. The Taoism balance of it all. Yeah, it's getting real metaphysical. We're getting into the mumbo jumbo, right? Look, we don't have to. It's just a metaphor. It's a metaphor for trust yourself and try to give others the benefit of the doubt without putting yourself at risk too much. We all risk getting our hearts broken. We all risk losing it all every day. So what's a little more risk if the reward is that much sweeter? Alright, take care. See you next time. That went well. Testing. Watch it. Oh, good. Everything's working. Hi, it's me, JJ, again. I bet I look a lot better than the last time you saw me, right? I was kind of getting angry, and I was getting impatient, right? I'm sorry. My back hurts pretty fucking bad right now. Not only that, I was getting dope sick. I just need to sit down. You know? If it wasn't for the dope sick, maybe I could have like foregoed the pain relief. You know? Like, you know, when I'm in terrible pain, physically speaking, you know, posture helps. What do I mean? Well, let's say that you got a forearm. It's pretty straight, right? What happens if you have an accident and you break it and it's not so straight? What if you got a fracture's not going to really be helped by posture. I'm talking about a serious break. You ever seen that movie, The Fly, The Brundlefly? With Ian Goldblum? Yeah, remember the arm wrestling scene? I'm sorry, I don't want to gross you out. Pretty bad, right? Pretty hideous. Hey, it's almost Halloween. I can talk about this stuff, right? It's not out of line. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I wouldn't let your kids see it. But then again, I was a kid when I saw it. So, you see the bones sticking through the skin. Because the brundlefly is super strong. And whenever you apply rapid force to something like a forearm, to something that's like a straight line like that. 2, 3, 4. I bet you saw that when my elbow hit the space bar and the video stopped. Okay. I was talking too much about me. You don't really need an explanation. I have problems, you know that. But the real problem is I was asking you to just trust me, right? Without providing any illustrated examples of why you should have faith in yourself. It's basically like that Eve 6 song, Inside Out. I was basically asking you to take your tender heart and put it in a blender, spin it round and round into oblivion, right? Why would you do that? Why would you just trust me without an example or two or three of why that's a good idea? And that's a good idea for me to illustrate the examples of why and how you can trust yourself in some kind of a logical, contextual, cohesive kind of manner. Because maybe you shouldn't trust yourself. How do you know when to not trust yourself and have faith in yourself? Well, I guess maybe you shouldn't have faith in yourself if you're attempting something that you've never done before, have no idea how to do, and might get hurt doing it. Okay. It's fair to not have faith in yourself, but you know what? You can still have faith in your judgment. That's right. So you still have faith in yourself. Your judgment. If you're about to enter the matrix, yeah, right. If you're about to go into a dangerous situation, and it just has danger written all over it, right? And you don't feel like dying today, or at the very least, you don't feel like getting injured, mangled, or for lack of a better, you don't want to put your tender heart in a blender and watch it spin around into oblivion. Okay, that's good judgment. Way to go. Good call. But what if you do have experience and you do feel like maybe you can handle it, but you know that you don't know all the perils that you will be faced with in this dangerous situation? It's kind of like a video game, right? Protagonist adventure scenario. I don't want to accidentally stop this recording. We're done talking about Brundlefly, and basically it helps my back to have this, I can lean back and feel some relief. That's why I want world peace. I'm selfish as fuck. Self-preservation. That's really what this is about, this part of the video. How to have faith and still not have faith at the same time. How to self-preserve. I need my back fixed. The opiates are a horrible addiction. I'd like to leave them all behind. I can't do that until my back is fixed. How am I going to get my back fixed? That's a damn good motherfucking question. It's not that simple. There's plenty of professional wrestlers out there with fused vertebrae. You know what a fused vertebrae is? That's when they take your spongy disc that allows you free movement like a gymnast, like some kind of a contortionist. Yeah, they remove your disc and they fuse your bones together and lock them into place. So that way, instead of being all flexible and loosey-goosey, you're more like that. Sounds like a great solution, right? Not only that, it doesn't guarantee anything, like that you'll be pain-free or like whatever. Now you get to walk around like Frankenstein, all locked into place, going, I'm still in pain, because like back, if you get injured, what if it's soft tissue that got injured? Yeah, fucking up your spine even more isn't going to help with that, is it? Basically, deep tissue massage would do me a lot of good right now. But, that's kind of a luxury. It's kind of like plastic surgery. People like an electrolysis, you know, plastic surgery, electrolysis, hair replacement on the top of your head, to like fix that. I don't want to be like that. That's not. I've lived my whole life with like hair, and you're like, damn, he's really bald. How does he pull off that mohawk hairdo, the Mohican? I do it with skill. I'm not a hairdresser, but I have had a mohawk hairdo for like 10 years or longer or whatever. I know a few tricks to making it look good and keeping it manageable. Because I'm a punk rocker. JJ is a punk rocker now. And it's not just because I look like one. Although that helps. It's kind of like you get the double whammy. It's like, not only does he look like a punk rocker, he's more punk rock in his ethics and his beliefs than anybody. He's like super punk rock. And he's like a peace punk. Because he's not out to fuck the system, he's really out to be a peace punk. Which is kind of like a hippie, except way better. If you've ever listened to like Crass. What's Pink Indians, Poison Girls, Drunks and Rusty Transit, Rudimentary P9, Anarcho bands. You know why you should trust the Anarcho bands, right? That was a trend. That was a punk rock trend. Like Crass existed in '77. They were there for the whole fucking thing, right? And you know what else? They were living in England when it was terrible. The conditions were terrible. Talk about being a protagonist in a dangerous environment, right? Joblessness, upheaval. Like, you ever watch Sid and Nancy when they go out on the boat and they play Anarchy in the UK and they got the megaphone? And then the authorities with the billy clubs come rush. Yeah, spoiler alert, whatever. And then everybody is. It's basically like a riot. And Sid and Nancy are walking through it, basically unaffected. They're just like sidestepping all the chaos, around them. It's crazy, right? That's basically real. That basically happened. It's a reenactment of the truth. And the truth is, it was pretty crazy. And so those anarcho bands, they got to go through hell. And a lot of their songs are describing it. And they're also describing the pathway to peace. And it's like, oh, but they're just filthy punks. Yeah, they're filthy punk rockers. Right? Remember we talked about the difference? If you like being, I don't know if it was in that last video, but I remember saying, if you like being called a punk, that was in my goodbye video, because I'm going to take a 90-day break from streaming. So I don't sabotage everything I've made. And like my reputation, my legacy, our friendship, our fanship. Like, the nice thing about being a fan in like this whole, creation maker scene is like it's not mutually exclusive. Like, I can be a fan of you, you can be a fan of me. It's a two-way street. Even if my medium is one way. Like the way I'm directly talking to you and not accepting feedback right at this second. Dude, this computer isn't even online. It's not on the internet. It's like a message in a bottle. You can send me another message in a bottle whenever you feel like it. And hopefully I'll open it, right? I'm pretty damaged. I'm trying to get right in the head as well as the back. I'm afraid to open my bottles of messages right now. I'm afraid there's going to be bad news inside. Also, I'm afraid it's going to be a scam, an exploitation of my trust that I'm willing to extend to just my benefit of the doubt. Yeah, that. But the problem with my benefit of the doubt right now is I'm desperate. I would like nothing more than to find a shortcut to reaching the masses. Like, I don't affect anyone right now except a small, you know what happened? I heard that Jesus Christ, if you believe in that kind of thing, 2,000 years ago, he had disciples, and these disciples of his, there were only like you can see them in that famous painting called The Last Supper. I think, wasn't that made by Michelangelo? I think, the Renaissance dude. Anyways, is it in the Sistine Chapel? I feel like I might know that too. But regardless, you can see that this group of disciples is rather small. It's basically like what I'm reaching these days. If I'm lucky, on a good day, I'm reaching that many people. On an average day, it's less. It's 0.5, like, on an average day. I suppose if you give something time, that 0.5 can turn into 10 if it grows by 20 times what it is. How much time is that going to take? How much time is this upload going to take? No, I don't need another pill. No, I don't need a cigarette. I'm getting a little bit sour in the face because I don't have time to waste. I'd like nothing more than a shortcut. The only problem is when you're that desperate, you're willing to take risks, and that's when you're easily exploited, taken advantage of, deceived. That's when your benefit of the doubt becomes a knife. What kind of a knife? The kind that's going into you and hurting you. And that's not going to help me make any progress at all towards fixing my mind and my back. Yeah, that knife that goes into you and cuts deep, that my mind has been cut deeply by years of betrayal, letdown, and bad luck, accidents. It's left me fearful of my inbox, you betcha. Because I'm so desperate, and I am just about ready to accept help from anyone. And it's like, I can't afford to waste time. Let's say that I'm willing to accept help from anyone. Yeah, that requires communication back and forth. It's hard. It's difficult because I'm in a fragile state a lot of the time. Also, I'm upset a lot of the time. So I might come across hostile. I might come across like a crazy person. That's, not ideal. I might come across weak, feeble, confused, any number of non-virtuous traits. And it's not because I'm mentally ill or unstable, chemically imbalanced, or otherwise permanently damaged. I feel like I can recover from any mental wounds that I have, as long as I haven't done serious brain damage, which is always a possibility. But like, the post-traumatic stress thing that I have is probably curable. It's going to take a lot of love. And that's not like, you can't buy love. You can't buy me love. You can't buy anybody love. It's not like I'm not gonna. If you give me a bunch of money, I mean, hey, I'll be grateful. I'm not gonna love you. I basically already do, though. And that's why we're gonna talk about how to protect yourself. So, why do I have faith in myself? Let's talk about the rollover accident that I survived. How did I survive it? Basically, I didn't have a choice. I had like this instinct kick in, this automatic process that I had developed. It was real nice back before my fucking spine was totally trashed and injured. Back before I was dependent on opioids, yeah, it was pretty sweet. I guess it's no big deal. You ever heard of a ninja roll? I'm not talking about sushi. I'm talking about the gymnastic technique. Don't try this at home. You should probably be trained, like I was, by an expert ninja roller. Okay? But if you are going to take caution and throw it to the wind and practice ninja rolls on your own, don't do it without a gymnastics pad on the ground. Okay? And no! Don't take shortcuts. Let me guess. When I say a gymnastics pad, you think you can just throw a mattress on the ground and use that, right? Well, small mattresses. I'll just throw. You're gonna end up with a spring poking out your eye or eardrum, and that's a stupid plan. Please respect me by following my advice. Actually, my advice is don't try this at home. Get yourself a trainer if you want to learn the ninja roll and save your own life. Sometimes I wish I had. That's why I'm trying to save the world. The pain kills. Alright, so yeah, now you know. It was a rollover accident. I tucked and I rolled through it. That's how you do a ninja roll. You basically grab the back of your head, kind of tuck a little bit like that, and shield. You know, I'm right-handed, so I kind of like to roll, and I'm kind of rolling to the left, my left, kind of rolling in that direction, and tucking up into a ball, kind of like Samus from Metroid. And then when I reach the point, when the momentum carries me through and my feet end up flat on the ground, that's when I use my muscles to spring back up like as if nothing happened. Like you roll, you spring, ta-da! I'm a gymnast, right? Not quite. But how'd you learn the skill, JJ? By being an amateur backyard professional wrestler, except we were backyard wrestlers that performed at venues. It's basically just like backyard wrestling, except we were functional enough to get past the backyard. Backyard wrestling's kinda lazy. And I'm doing that to. Look how smug I look. I'm all cocky. It's like, if you're a backyard wrestler, it's not a very trendy thing these days, so you're probably not. Okay? But if you are, you know, it's kind of lazy. I'm better than you because I performed at venues. Kind of like saying if you're a musician and you're always playing gigs in your backyard, in your living room, yeah, guess what? I played gigs at venues. Other people's backyards? Yeah. That's one way. Basements, even. Also, I did it all over the United States of America. You could say I went a little further than the backyard. And it cost me my spine. I'm lucky to still have it. As trashed as it is, it's pretty bad. It's got, like, you know, the cervical, that's my neck. The thoracic, that's my scapular region, all the way down almost to the lumbar, which is my low back. I got injuries all over those places. Those three groupings. Oh, and then there's also the sacral area, which is kind of down by your butthole. I got it all. It's all injured. Yeah, could you imagine living with that? And the soft tissue, the myofascial, it's all fucked up too. Is it any wonder I'm a doper? And I tried for years living without the dope. Yeah, I'm hardcore to the bone, and I'm telling you how it is. I gotta save myself, and I'm gonna do it by saving you. Saving the world. Okay? So, I had faith in myself when I was in that rollover accident because I'd already ninja rolled a whole bunch. I knew how to do it. I was well practiced. Ninjas are known for training hard and training well. It's a fact. So yeah, the thing about training hard and training well is a lot of this stuff becomes automatic, which in turn makes it like a video game. Have you ever played a video game and had somebody try to piss on your parade? You know, let's say that you're a fan of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right? Let's say you put in a lot of hours like that, flipping, spinning, and otherwise grinding, sliding, planting, manually balancing, and getting mad air, okay? You've logged a lot of hours with the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. Maybe even Tony Hawk, what do they call that one? Project 8? It's not even Pro Skater, it's Project something. I don't know. Or maybe Tony Hawk Ride. Maybe you like to stand on an actual skateboard. That's almost like Guitar Hero shit right there. So you can stand on that flat thing and not fall off of it. You think you got balance and you want to try skateboarding for real now? But you got some naysayers saying things like, you know, just because you play Tony Hawk Pro Skater video games all day doesn't mean you're going to be any good at skateboarding at all. You know, that's completely different. Just because you push a button, you know, it doesn't mean you know anything. Yeah, they're right, but they're totally wrong. Because when you become a well-practiced individual, you can execute your moves. It takes as much thought as pressing a button. How do I know this? Because I got mad skills, yo. There's plenty of things I can do that are like as simple as like a thought. Like, do you believe me? I'd like to demonstrate, but I think you believe me. I've made a lot of videos. You know, some of them might attest to this. guess you can just give me the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. It's hard to do, right? Here, how about this? I think this will be a good demonstration, maybe. Oh, come on, I just had them. Aren't they in here? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Come on, dude, don't leave them waiting. Oh, my back's feeling a little better. It helps if you do that one move, you know, the twisty, You gotta keep your spine, like, limber, otherwise it's gonna lock up, and then you're gonna be really screwed when you got a broken one. You know what I'm looking for? Don't you know what I'm looking for? Damn, I thought I had them in here. I must have them in here. I'm not seeing them though. Okay, you know what? Let's just look up a video. I'm sorry. Oh, it feels bad. Oh, I got it to pop. Thank God. Alright. I guess ultimately that was pointless, but it helped my back a little. Okay, so have you ever seen my juggling videos? Have you? Yeah, juggling, it's basically like video gaming. I'm that good at juggling. And you might not, like, believe that, but whatever, man. Take my word for it. If I've had, like, a day to practice, you know, they say everything's like riding a bicycle, right? What does that mean? That means that you can learn to ride a bicycle, walk away from it for years, just, like, avoid the bicycle for years. What do you mean, JJ? I mean, not even a stationary exercycle. I mean, that whole, like, holding the handlebars and pedaling thing, like, that requires, like, balance, unless you got training wheels like a little kid, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good way to learn and not hurt yourself, but let's face it, riding a bicycle, riding a motorcycle, yeah, on two wheels, that requires balance. How do you get that balance? How do you get world peace? Is that balance? Yeah. Well, the way you get it is practice. And once you've practiced and once you got it, and you have your eureka moment. So this is what it feels like. Because now you know. And then you walk away from it for years and you forget what it feels like. You're like, oh, I don't know if I can still ride a bike. I haven't had to do that balancing act in a long time, but then you hop on the seat, start pedaling, and you can still ride. Maybe not as good as you used to. You know, maybe you were popping wheelies. Woo! Maybe you were, like, doing bunny hops, getting air, right? I don't know. Maybe you were. It's a pretty common activity, the bicycle ride. Okay? Maybe you were more of a road bike person. Let's just say hypothetically, okay? Like road bikers, like Lance Armstrong, you know, the guy with the yellow wristbands that represent testicular cancer awareness, as opposed to the pink wristbands that represent breast cancer awareness. It's October, isn't it? Isn't that breast cancer month? I should probably be wearing my pink bracelet. Anyways, you know, those little rubbery things, whatever. Alright, so check it out. If you're a road biker, you're not going to be worried about the bunny hops and the jump ramps and that kind of thing. You're popping up curves. You're more concerned about going fast and not losing it. You're going to be tucked down. You know, you're not going to be sitting upright. You're going to be tucked down, aerodynamic, going as fast as you can and not losing it. Because if you lose it, you're gonna wipe out, and it's gonna be really bad. You're gonna just get all kinds of road rash. So if you're well practiced at the road biking, and you know how to tuck down and go fast, and you know, if you've got a turn coming up, you're not gonna like use the handlebars. You're not gonna turn the wheel, because that'll make you wipe out. You don't want that. So you've got to be more like a motorcycle rider at that point. You're gonna have to lean from side to side to go through those turns, right? And that feels a little different, and it requires, you know, practice, man. You got to put time into the thing you do, right? Don't you? I do. I got to put twice as much time as the average person. So, and I've explained that before, but for whatever reason that is, yeah, I know a thing or two about putting in time to your craft, and if you do that, why wouldn't you have faith in yourself? Huh? Exactly. Confidence. So, you know, I'm basically telling you to practice the religion of faith, of having faith in yourself. It's not a fucking religion, man. It's just a crutch to get you through life. Because there's a lot of uncertainty and doubt and fear. FUD, FUD, is the acronym for the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt. And yeah, we got it in abundance here on this planet. And how do you navigate it? With the faith in yourself. How do you get the faith in yourself? By, I don't know, reading books, or at least watching how-to videos on YouTube, and then trying the things in the videos, reading the comments to see if those things are safe to try in the first place, right? Safe or effective. You know, you'll get it. You just gotta try harder. That's a saying too. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, that's a saying. I didn't invent it. Try harder, that's another saying that I didn't invent. What more can I say on this? It's like, how do you know when you're up to spec? How do you know when you're up to speed, right? How do you gauge that? Because we all get stage fright, right? I forget that, like, a lot of you guys, you aren't as comfortable with failure as I am. Alright. Well, as long as this is world peace for dummies, and, yeah, I know, that title stinks, right? You know where I got that title? It's from a book series for dummies. Yeah, what about it? Basically, it's not a book series for dummies. It's a book series for geeks. But that book series was started, it was invented. They started making those dummies books, like DOS for Dummies. That was an early one. It was made in a very toxic time period, a very toxic era, a socially toxic one. You know? If you're a nerd, if you're a geek, a dweeb, or whatever, you know, those words don't even get used anymore. You're just a specialist in something, right? You know? Well, you know, let's face it, man. You're probably put down and called a dummy at some point. Or maybe you're just not confident in yourself, so you think of yourself as a dummy. Yeah, well, once you start to have faith in yourself, you'll say, I know I'm not a dummy. but I do know I need to read up on the thing or watch a YouTube video or two. You know, I think you will develop your empathy, your spider sense, man, your freaking intuition, your gut feeling, your heart feeling, man. These are your sixth senses. You can believe that. Have you ever wanted one? A sixth sense? Eh, 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 eh. What about the sixth one? Intuition. It's like I'm not gonna teach you how to see into the future, how to read minds. Who wants to read minds? Wouldn't it be better if you could just like communicate with the minds? Like once you start communicating, you're gonna get the information that you need out of that mind. You don't have to read it. You can ask it. It's a mind. It's not static in a vacuum. It's a mind. It's right there in front of you. It's right here inside you. Okay? And that sixth sense of intuition and you know, gauging situations, like knowing the danger, you know, knowing, you know, this kind of shit should really appeal to a video gamer, which is probably going to be like the only people that even try to trust and understand and maybe begin the journey of world peace. Like a fucking disciple. Yeah, well, I'm not really looking for disciples. I'm more like a Johnny Appleseed, hoping to plant the seed of world peace. And it's gonna start by helping plant the seed of, like, you know, people that have a sixth sense for feeling things out. And I know, maybe I don't look like that person. Maybe you think I'm foolish, and I blunder around the internet. You know, I'm just being myself. And you know, it hasn't hurt me too bad. Oh, yeah, my analytics are at an all-time low. What does that mean? What do I care? What do I need you for? You know? I really don't have to recruit you. I really don't need you to respect, admire, or be my friend. I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to be a nomad. I know what it's like to just have no one. So, you know, if I've turned you off by bumbling around in my videos looking like a jackass, well, you know what? That just makes me relate to Bam Margera and Johnny Knoxville and all those performers, all those celebrities, all those entertainers, that much more. You know, by bumbling around and looking like a jackass. Yeah, tell me how much of a jackass I look like in that one juggling video on YouTube entitled Just Another Asshole That Needs a BAP. Because I was juggling so good, that BAP, I did it on purpose to demonstrate how horrible violence is. It was basically a step in the direction of world peace. So I was well practiced enough to do that. So there, I think it would taken another freaking 30 minutes for me to tell you why you should have faith in yourself, okay? It's like you should probably, you know, get some comfort. Get in your comfort zone and then have faith in yourself. No, it depends on the level of danger and difficulty. You know, life isn't constantly filled with peril and danger. That's like why people like the white bread, mayonnaise-y lifestyle. It's just rarely is it dangerous and perilous, okay? But accidents do happen, and you gotta be prepared. You know that ninja roll? There's plenty of times I've been skateboarding, and I hit a rock or an obstacle, a curb, and I have to ninja roll my way through it and pop up on my feet and walk away this fight. And then there's other times I go slam, and then that's when I think to myself, either I'm never getting on another skateboard ever again, or I'm gonna die. Today's the day. I slam hard. You know, as long as you're not dead, you'll be fine. Okay? I'm trying to teach you how to live and survive in a world filled with bombs, guns, and knives, and people ready to use them. So, if that doesn't sound good, learning how to survive, well then, just fuck off. Have a nice day. Yeah, I was a backyard wrestler at practice. Nah, dude, that last one that we did at the Club Congress for Halloween, now that was a freaking gig. You know how many people we had in the audience when I was Obnoxio D Clown? I climbed up the turnbuckle and said, "Here comes the bozo drop!" And that's when I went flying through the